All right, let's talk about this powerful storm system that's been hammering New York and New Jersey. This is way more than just a bad rainy day. We're dealing with a triple threat of hazards, and it's creating some real chaos. So let's break it all down. It's easy to look outside, see the wind and rain, and think, okay, here we go again. But is that really the whole story with this one? Not even close. See, this isn't just one type of bad weather. It's a complex system that's hitting us from three different angles all at once. And it's that combination that's making it so much more intense. So, first up, let's talk about the most widespread problem, the wind. And I'm not just talking about a strong breeze here. These are some seriously destructive gusts. We're talking about wind gusts peaking at 50 miles per hour, especially right along the coast. Now, think about that. In a place like New York City, winds that strong can turn anything not tied down into a projectile and easily knock out power lines. And this isn't just theory, okay? The damage is already happening. I mean, look at this. In Yonkers, a porch was literally ripped clean off a house. We've got live wires down in the Rockaways, and trees are falling and blocking roads all over from the Bronx to Queens. That's the real world's impact of those 50-mile-per-hour winds. Okay, so let's move to the second front, which is just the sheer volume of water being dumped on us. This is where things start to compound. The forecast is calling for about 1 to 3 inches of rain across the area. Now, that amount by itself isn't necessarily a record breaker, right? But the problem is how all this rain is mixing with the other parts of this storm. So the biggest concern here isn't necessarily massive, widespread flash floods. It's really two specific things we got to watch out for. Some minor coastal flooding during high tide, which is no fun for low-lying areas, and then just major water ponding on the roads, making driving super dangerous. All right, now for the third threat. And honestly, this is the one that really caught a lot of people off guard. We're talking about the risk of tornadoes. Yep, you heard that right. The National Weather Service actually issued an official tornado risk for parts of central New Jersey. And let me just say, that is not something we see around here very often. But, and this is a big but, before anyone panics, let's put this in perspective. On a scale from 1 to 5, the threat level is a 1. So yes, the risk is real, it's official, but it's on the absolute lowest end of the scale. It's something to be aware of, not alarmed by. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's a direct quote from the experts at the Storm Prediction Center. Any activity would be isolated. What that means is they're not expecting some big outbreak. They're just saying the conditions are right for maybe a few isolated storms to get a little bit of rotation. So what happens when you take those destructive winds, that heavy rain, and that surprise tornado risk, and you throw it all at one of the busiest places on Earth? Well, you get a region that's basically put on pause. I mean, just look at the ripple effect across our entire transit system. Those high winds, they led to ground stops at all 3 major airports, JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark. A fallen tree shut down an NJ transit line for a bit. And those same winds meant they had to put restrictions on big bridges like the Verrazano. The whole network just grinds to a halt. Now, the good news in all this thing is moving through pretty quickly. It's not going to linger. So what can we actually expect for the next couple of days? So here's the game plan. The rain should be pretty much done by Thursday evening, after about 8 p.m. Halloween itself looks dry, which is fantastic news for all the trick-or-treaters, but it is still going to be pretty windy out there. Then by the weekend, the winds finally die down, and we should be looking at mostly sunny skies. So as the system finally pushes out to sea, it kind of leaves us with a really important question. In a world with more and more extreme weather, what's the big takeaway from a storm that doesn't just hit you with one thing, but with 3 different threats all at the same time? Definitely something to think about.